This is Madeleine Key reporting with the Daily Cal, and I'm about to interview Rachel Horning, the chair of the Senate Finance Committee. So Rachel, can you tell us a little bit about what the Finance Committee is doing this semester to make sure that it doesn't overspend?
Sure. So every week we see a ton of bills coming through. A lot of times they're asking for upwards of anywhere from $900 to $1,500. Those are the heftier bills. And what we do as the Finance Committee is we look at every single line item on the budget and we try to normalize what they're asking for with our preset soft caps.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a way of standardizing, I guess, the method with which we distribute ASUC funding. So, for instance, there's a lot of people that come to the Finance Committee asking for funding, let's say, for flyers. The soft cap for flyers, if you want black and white copies, is 5 cents per page. But a lot of people don't know that, and sometimes senators don't do a good job of writing the bill clearly. So they're asking maybe for 8 cents per copy, and then we have to say, we're going to give you less money. So that's just one example. I could have given you hundreds of others, but we try to be very fair and as objective as possible when we're giving money to different groups. And as a result, we're trying to just save the ASUC as much money as possible by being as financially responsible and as frugal as possible.
When we talked earlier, you talked a little bit about you guys have been recommended to table bills. Can you share with us a little bit about what it means to table a bill and why it might be helping the Senate?
So Anuj, he is our finance officer. He's the one that pushes the numbers and I guess directs the Senate in the most financially responsible direction as possible. So he's been telling us, look, if the ASUC group comes to us and they might not have provided us with all the information that we need on the budget, table the bill until next week because we want as much information as possible the night that it's presented to us. And if they're not providing us with that information that we need, we're going to table the bill so that we're not spending kind of off on a limb. And that's another way of keeping it fair for all the student groups. Everyone has to come to us with all of the proper information. And that's so that we are making the most informed decisions as possible. Otherwise, we're just going to table the bill, which means we're not going to pass it, but we're not going to kill it. And then, we'll discuss that same bill in the same format, just with more information the following week.
When groups come to you to ask for funding, is there a certain set of questions you ask them or criteria that you hold them to determine how much money to give them?
Yes, there are 4 very important questions, and what we do, we have the finance officer actually write them on the whiteboard so that when the groups are presenting to us, they can look onto the whiteboard and just answer these 4 pretty basic questions. Mm-hmm. So the first one is, what's the lasting impact of this funding? Is this money going to be invested in a fruitful way? It depends on what the event might be, but if people are getting an education from this funding, that's awesome. And just, is it going to last a long time or not? That's really important to us. And then secondly, we want to know how many people are going to be impacted by the funding that we're providing. So there are some groups that might be asking for $1,500 for an event that maybe 20 people are going to benefit from. Mm-hmm. And so that makes us raise our eyebrows and ask, is this really necessary? Because then there's groups with 500 people that are going to be impacted that are also asking for $1,500. So we're a lot more likely to give more funding to the groups that have a larger body of people that are going to be benefiting from this money. And then another really important question is outside funding. Have you sought outside funding? We, at least in the fall, really want the contingency fund to be sort of the last resort for a lot of groups because we don't have that much money to be giving. So there's ASUC grants that people can receive and also just donations, corporate sponsorships, all of that. And then I guess the last thing is spring budgeting. We want to know, did you receive money for this particular item or event in your spring budget? Has this already been allocated to you? Mm-hmm. Because the ASUC doesn't want to be providing money twice for the same event. We're actually discussing probably 15 to 20 bills every Monday night.
Okay.
Yeah. It's a lot of talking.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah.
If you ever want to check out Rachel and the Finance Committee, she'll be conducting the meetings starting at 9 p.m. in the Senate chambers.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much, Rachel.
Thank you.